this works. I'm sorry I'm late. Can you hear me? I have no idea how this setup is. Camera is very high up. You're gonna be looking at the top of my head for most of this. Here we go. Alright. I'm trying my best to set up the stream here. I am in Melbourne on a laptop. The cables and the stuff I have is absolutely everywhere. Is the game live? That's the question. Let's see. Can we get the... let's see if I can get chat up here. There we go. Ari, welcome. Hello. Horatio, Minty, Samir, Danny. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's not live? Well, why am I here? Let's try and reload this. Well, I guess we're chilling until then. Daniel, Jillian, Linus, Sahil, Fraser, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Happy new F1 year. Happy new F1 year indeed. Wow, wow, wow. Alright, I'm gonna tweet out that we're live. I'm doing like half of the controls from this, by the way. How's the sound? How's the mic? Can someone like let me know? If it's bad, I can try and fix it. But yeah, I pretty much just got back home. I've been out in Melbourne all day. Sounds good. Okay, lovely, 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 lovely. I'm gonna try for the next stream to try and like put it more level, but I mean for now we're rocking with the the high. It's acceptable. Okay, good, good, good. Let's see. Let's not blast you with my voice ×2. Yeah, just let me know if there's anything that's not working, if it's lagging or anything like that. Let us tweet out. We are live. The game isn't though. ... And then a little link and a little hashtag. Boom. I'm sorry for the scuffed setup. Do we know if there are any new rules? Maybe they have updated the QA or something. We think there are new rules. There have been some leaks over on the F1 Fantasy Tools Discord channel. Oh, I have the new thing. I can fix that for the videos tomorrow. It's completely bugged. Paris is in. Oh, you got it on your phone? Ooh, exciting. Well, we knew this was going to crash. Like, there's no way this was going to work immediately. Just got in on the phone app. I'm gonna check my phone app as well. But yeah, we do think there are some new rules. From what we've seen, again, none of this is confirmed officially, but it was data mined, or it wasn't like a fake website type deal that they used to test stuff that the F1 Fantasy Tools people found. And the fastest pit stop for the constructors have changed, and it looks like the entire like budget system has been overhauled completely. How the budget works. So all of me chatting about C tiers is like null and void now. It looks like there's only A and B tier, but we're not sure how the budget increases work as of now. Top driver prices are out. I don't know if it was mentioned. I have not seen that, but I would love to check that out to see if they are accurate to what the leaks were. So we can definitely look at that if this is not dropping. I'm gonna try and see if I can get in on my phone app. Gotta try to know. Oh, wait. Something happened. Pick my team. We're in. We're in, boys. We're in. Oh my god. Oh, it looks so good. Look at this new snazzy UI. Fantasy, the official Formula 1 fantasy game. We're actually in. We're actually so unbelievably in. I'm also in Melbourne. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, let's pick our team. Okay, I'm so excited. Oh my god. 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 I'm in. We're in. We're in. Hold up. Is not a drill. And quick link again. Boom. Whew. Okay. Better late than never. Let's pick the team, okay? Let's check all the prices, official prices, right? Uh, Lando Norris 29, Max Verstappen 28, Charles Leclerc 25, Lewis Hamilton 24, Oscar Piastri 23. Now, if the price system or the price increase system worked like it did last year, I feel like Hamilton would be a no-brainer at 24.2. Like, you should try and fit Hamilton in. But if it's like the leaks said, or what we're suspecting, that the cutoff now, the new cutoff for A and B tier asset is actually at 20 million and not 25, that means like this is, there's no advantage budget-wise to picking Hamilton over Leclerc. So let's actually just lock in the team real quick. The initial ones, I'm going to pick the drivers that I'm most excited about, just from a price standpoint. Esteban Ocon, owned by 100% of people. I think that is 100% accurate, because I don't know what they've done with the Haas prices. I think Jack Doohan is interesting at 7.2. I think Oliver Behrman is really interesting at 6.7. But let's look at the constructors, right? Let's look at the constructors. Add a constructor. Ooh, here we go. 30 million, 27.1, 25.2, 22.7. Again, oh, that's not what I want. Oh, it's gone. But I was having fun. I was having fun. Let me back in. No. Okay. Well, whatever.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So this is how it's going to be, huh? Anyway, those of you in chat, this is because it's still completely bugged. Yeah. The best team is Sauber, V-Carb, Stroll, Bortoleto, Hadjar, and Sargent times 2. Fantastic. Bug already. It's looking like it's going to be one of those, no? It's looking like it's going to be one of those. Reload. Nope. Yeah, we just got locked out. I know I was excited about picking my team because like picking the team is the fun part of it, but I'm equally excited to actually like go and look at the changes, the official changes. So what else were another thing with the budget system. Oh, we're back in. Never mind. Another thing with the budget system is that we think that the new the new increase system, like how assets increase in price, is actually based on how they've performed over the last 3 races instead of how they performed in one race. Meaning that if your driver DNFs but has had 2 really good races previously, even though they DNF, they might still increase in price. So it's like averaged out, meaning there's going to be less swings. So I'm really excited to see how that works out. Let's try and lock in this team just before anything happens, okay? Let's check the constructors again. One thing that's really interesting, and let's talk about that before I actually pick my proper team, is like you cannot pick McLaren, Ferrari, and then a driver from the top 4 teams. So let's go for the cheapest driver from the top 4 teams, which is Liam Lawson. I don't think you can afford this team. You cannot. 6.7 million is required for Behrman, and we are at what? 6.3. So you can literally not fit in McLaren, Ferrari, and a driver from the top 4 teams, which I think is really good. That's a good pricing. And I'm actually going to discuss that in a video. So right after this stream is ended, I'm going to be like immediately getting into recordings of actual videos to post on the channel. And among those videos, I'm going to talk about a specific thing, but I don't think I'm going to mention it now because I need to look into it a bit more, like maths-wise. What I think this means is that this might be the season of a C-tier constructor. Just based on prices alone, we might have to go with a C-tier constructor. And I think in that case, you try and go for the best one. And right now, it's maybe Williams. I think it's easier to stretch to a Williams at 13.1 than something like a Sainz, right? But let's try this for now. I'm going to go with, again, if the new price system is that the cutoff is at 20 million and not at 25, then Mercedes is like a no-go for me. But opposite, if it's like it was last year and the cutoff is at 25 million, Mercedes is like a must pick, right? But I'm gonna lock in McLaren just for now. This is not gonna be what my final team looks like. That video is gonna come out on Thursday or Friday probably. In terms of, I don't think I can afford Lando Norris even with this. I'm gonna try it though, but I actually doubt it. Okay, I can afford Lando with the cheapest. I had 2.6 million left in the bank, so I could upgrade one of these assets to like an Ocon, and then we're kind of just done there. No, 1.7 million. Can I upgrade Hodgers or something? I don't think so. I can upgrade to Duan. So you could do a team like this, right? And this doesn't look that bad if you actually want to go for Norris as that asset. So I'm just gonna try and confirm team for now. I'm just gonna continue with this. Place the 2x on Norris, confirm. Rain Fantasy. There we go. Save team. Oh, we gotta do all this. Unfortunately, my country starts on one of the last letters. Yeah, Sweden. You know I'm a Ferrari fan. This is the real decision that matters. Okay. There you go. I agree to the above. Where did you hear about F1 Fantasy? Can you like other and then like type my channel? I don't know. I want to win cool prizes, bro. I agree to the above. Alright, team has been created. Let's look at the changes. Let's see. Any major rule updates? That's the next that we're gonna check. Driver of the day points stayed. Yeah, that was pretty much confirmed. I think driver of the day, DNFs, and fastest lap all have stayed the same, which is surprising. Cam covering up prices. Maybe go top right to left. Okay, sorry about that. We can move Cam up here. Thank you for letting me know. Scuff setup, don't worry about it. We're gonna check more on the prices in a bit, but for now, let's see. Let's just do this so we can actually see what's going on. Did that mess everything up? I think so. Again, they've like hidden the public leagues, which I don't like. I wish the starter leagues were at the top. We have some random ads, sure. Let's look at, oh, what's new? Here we go. Ooh. What's new? Scoring updates and changes, inactive drivers, price updates, look and feel. Oh, this is the good stuff right here. Let's check the game rules first. Scoring updates and changes. What's new for 2025? I'm reading this for the first time, by the way, so I'm just going to read it straight through. Transfers. If your driver competing in the sprint then but is replaced. Hold on. Am I the stupid one? If your driver competing in the sprint that but is then replaced, I assume is what it's supposed to say. If your driver competing in the sprint is replaced before oh wait, I'm so confused. Please tell me I'm not the stupid one here. This is just wrong, right? Okay. If your driver competing in the sprint is replaced before Grand Prix qualifying, you'll be given a transfer suggestion so you can avoid not classified penalties. This suggestion still comes out of your transfer limit
and there's still a minus 10 point penalty if you exceeding the grammar here is awful. Let me just say that straight up. They need to fix that. Someone did not proofread this. There's like 3 things really wrong with this sentence, or with these 2 sentences. It's still a minus 10 point penalty if you exceed the transfer limit. Okay, I mean, this makes sense. I understand why it comes out of the transfer limits, but then basically you're taking a minus 10 hit. You're basically, if this situation comes up, you take a minus 10 instead of a minus 20, which is a DNF, and then you obviously still get points for the driver. So I guess this is a good change. Not gonna come up that often though. Pit stops, I think this is the big one. Every team will now get points for pit stops during the Grand Prix, but not sprints. Make sense? The number of points each team gets will be based on their fastest pit stop during the race. A 5-point bonus will go to the constructor who records the fastest pit stop of the race. Set a new world record, and they'll score a 15-point bonus. Now, I don't know if these 2 stack. Right? If you set the new world record, you also get the 5-point bonus for being the fastest. Because in that case, like, setting a world record would essentially be worth 20 bonus. Unless like multiple. I guess that's also interesting. Say like Williams sets a new pit stop record on 1 lap, and then the next lap Ferrari beats the record that was set the lap before. And then Red Bull beats the record that was set before that. And then McLaren, so in the same race, could 4 constructors, or I guess 10 constructors, get this 15-point bonus if everyone just magically lowers the world record. I don't know. But I suppose this is interesting, and we need to see how many points they get. But this could be quite powerful. Very, very powerful, actually. And we might have to start looking at all the teams' average pit stop times and not just look at who gets the fastest pit stop every race. Since last year, that was mostly top 10 teams, right? Disqualification penalties. Penalty points for being disqualified will now be applied to their constructor instead of the driver themselves. Interesting. Okay, that's good. At least they can't double stack, right? Disqualified drivers will not gain any points for the session they were disqualified from. Okay, so you still lose if your driver gets disqualified, it still sucks, but it doesn't it's not going to be a 200-point swing, which is a good change. I mean, transfers, disqualification penalties, these 2 changes are really good. Jury is still out on this one. We'll see how good this pit stop change is. Scoring. Points will be awarded / deducted based on the driver. Yeah, this is all the same. Let's see. Is anything different? Pole position is still 10 points. No time set. -5. -5. This is different. This was -15 before, I'm pretty sure. Good change. Constructor, I think all of that is the same. Let me know if I miss anything on this, actually. It says 0 points for the session, so you can still get positive points on the driver if you did well in quali. True. That is very true. Too much excitement. It's worded weirdly, yeah. Let's see again. Sprint. 1 point per position, 1 point per position, 1 point per overtake, fast lap 5 points, all the same. Sprint results, all the same. -20, still the same. Race, driver of the day, 10 points. Fast lap, 10 points, still the same. All of this is the same. -20, yep. Constructor. Here we go, pit stop times. Okay, if constructor will score the combined total. Oh no. Okay, yeah. So essentially, all constructors will get one of these. This is insane. 20 points for an under 2 second pit stops is nuts. Like, it's actually nuts. I don't know why this says, like, this is written under pit stop times. That makes no sense, but sorry about that. Minus 20, minus 20. Okay, so if you only, like, if there's 40 pit stops in a race, you don't get this multiple times. This only counts for each team's fastest pit stop for the race. 20, 10, 5, 2, 0. Very interesting. I suppose the average is probably somewhere around this 5-pointer. It's not that often that they actually go below 2.2 seconds for a pit stop. I feel like 2.3 was like a good fast pit stop last year. So we're probably not going to reach these 10 and 20 points that often. I don't know if I like this. We'll see. I think it's a surprising thing to change, because it's not the thing that needed changing, you know? Pit stop points were already random, and I feel like this is just going to make it more random. But maybe this is like what values something like a McLaren at 30 million, right? If they consistently get pit stops between this 2.0 and 2.19 mark, getting an extra 10 points, and then the extra 5 for being the fastest, meaning they get 15 points. I don't know. Still minus 10 point per additional transfer, and that all looks the same, right? Okay, not that many changes, but still a few. This one I think is the big one though. Price updates. There's no link, so we can't even read any more information about this. But just read this here, right? Price recalculations and updates are now based on driver and constructor performance over the previous 3 Grand Prix. Huge. Massive. Massive, massive, massive. How's the Airbnb? It's great. I mean, you'll see it tomorrow. Rain this season, the value change line is 20 million. We think so, yes. It's not confirmed, but we think so. We think that the new tiers is an A and B tier. A tier above 20 million, B tier below 20 million. But it's not confirmed. Yeah, algorithm is completely out the window. Like, building a team for budget building is going to be very, very difficult because we don't know how it works yet. And I don't think we will know for certain how it works until we're 3 races into the season. Again, listen, I don't know because there's no link here. This is all it says, right? I'm trying to click. There's nothing to click on. Meaning, this is all we get. What I think this means, I don't think this means that every 3 races they're going to change the prices, because that would make no sense. Because then you just try and have a budget building team every 3 races. No, I think this still means that after every race, prices will change, but instead of just being based on what they did this one race, it's going to be based on the last 3. So, say Lando Norris wins 2 races in a row, gets 45 points, and then DNF gets minus 20. That 3rd race, he's still not going to decrease in price. He just might not increase as much because his average over those 3 races is still going to be above average. Meaning that those good assets, you know, those top tier assets like Lando Norris, like Charles Leclerc, like Max Verstappen, I don't, unless they have a spell where they DNF like 2 races, like 2 times in 3 races, they're never going to decrease in price. Never. Very, very interesting stuff. The prices, yeah, that's what I think, Darko. But again, we're not sure. This is just what I assume based on what it says here. Aether starting at 20 mil allegedly is very interesting. Yeah. I mean, it throws out the budget building ideas I had with Mercedes completely out the window. You can't, like, Mercedes is just not a good asset anymore.
because the reason you would go for Mercedes at 22 million was to try and like gain budget with them. But if they increase the same rate as McLaren at 30 million, you might as well try and go for McLaren at 30 million and then pick one of the back markers. I'm sorry if I missed this, but where did we get the 20 million plus or info? It's from the F1 Fantasy Tools Discord. They have sussed this out already, which is incredible. But again, they are also saying that this is not confirmed. We're gonna do like proper calculations when it actually happens in game. So what they did, they found like a mock site where the F1 Fantasy team like did tests basically. So they simulated 3 races. So they saw like price increases for drivers and saw like, for example, that Oliver Behrman decreased 1.8 million, meaning that we think the new like how much an asset can increase the most or decrease the most, that's a B tier asset below 20 million, is 0.6 million. So because of 3 weeks, he decreased 1.8. Again, we don't know. Yeah, F1 Fantasy Hub said they'll put a bigger process. Yeah, all of this is going to get solved very soon, I am sure. I'm just not sure it's going to be solved before the deadline. So, why is Norris so much more than Max? Max is literally world champion. I think it's just like the form, right? Because Max Verstappen became champion based on what he did at the beginning of the season, and this very much factors in the form at the end of the season as well as testing. I think they've looked a lot at the testing numbers, and that's what they've priced at. I mean, other than that, you could ask, why is Alex Albon 12 million when he was awful at the end of last year? I think it's all based on testing. The gap between Leclerc and Max looks like, oh yeah, that's because Max is World Drivers' Championship and then Lando's above him. Yeah, I think so too. Let's look at inactive drivers. Is this just the change they did in the middle of last year? Oh, this is just the same thing. Huh. Okay. I think this inactive drivers is just what they did with Logan Sargent. No? So overall, I mean, the by far the biggest change is the budget. I did not think they were going to touch the like budget building system and price increase system this year. I thought they were going to do that for next year. So I do think that the budget did need to change, like not budget, but the price change algorithm needed to change. I'm surprised they did it this year though. The unfortunate thing about it is obviously because the game release got delayed, we're not going to have enough time to actually know how it works before going into the new season. We might know a bit about it, but it's going to be iffy and there's things that could still be wrong about it. So yeah. Could you please explain pit stop points? Okay, so pit stop points essentially, previously, they took all the times for all the pit stops, gave out 10, 5, and 3 points to the 3 fastest teams. And Ferrari could have the fastest, second fastest, and third fastest and just scoop up 18 points, right? That's not how it works anymore. Now, every single constructor is going to get points based on their fastest pit stop. So, for example, if Ferrari, their fastest pit stop is at 2.3 seconds, they got, I think it is 5 points. Let's say Sauber makes a 1.9 second pit stop, they get 20 points for that. And then the fastest out of all of them, like comparing each other, is going to get an additional 5 points. Again, I don't know how that works. I don't know if this is going to be a good change. I think it's going to be very swingy, but constructors are going to be more powerful this year because of it, and I'm sure of it. Any clue on how head-to-head leagues work? I had not noticed that there were head-to-head leagues. Oh, head-to-head battle. Here we go. I think this basically works that you, again, this is me guessing. this is me guessing, but if it works like FPL does, you're basically in a league table with your friends. Say 20 people join a head-to-head league. Every race week, you're going to be pitted against a random person, or some sort of algorithm calculates who you should battle, and then whoever gets the most points of you win points. And then, so it's not based on like your actual points, it's based on if you can beat your opponent in any given race weekend. I think that's how head-to-head battle mode works, but I'm not sure. I haven't checked it out yet. All these people in chat, it's only 16 likes. That's what I'm saying, Manus. Yeah, if you haven't liked the stream, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Quick like doesn't cost you anything. Oh, here you can only have 2 people allowed in head-to-head, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that's pretty boring. Yeah, I assumed it worked like FPL, but if you're only 2 people in it, that's like, what's the point? What is the point? Interesting changes. I think overall the change that allows you to switch out a driver if they raced in the sprint and then doesn't race in the regular race, that's just a good change. Quality of life. I think the changes to disqualifications is good. I mean, you're still gonna get absolutely smacked when your driver gets disqualified, but it's not going to be as bad. It's not going to be like a 200-point swing anymore. It's gonna sting, but just not as much. And I like less swingy things. So I think those 2 changes are really, really good. Minor changes probably won't come up too much, but they're still good changes. The pit stop changes, I'm not so sure about just yet. We'll have to wait and see. As for the budget, I think it's really good that they changed the budget. I didn't like how it worked before. If the new one's good, I don't know yet, because I don't know exactly how it works yet. But yeah, let's actually talk about. Let's go back to my team, okay? So, reviewing my name. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with my name. I think it's going to be very difficult to fit 2 premium teams in here. Let's try though. Again, I think constructors, with the new pit stop change, constructors are going to be powerful. So in that case, let's try and go for a McLaren Mercedes build. And in this case, if you want to have like, I don't have the cheapest assets here. Let's actually do the cheapest assets. This. And then Duan's gone for Nico. 22 million. I cannot fit Piastri in here. Interesting. This is really interesting. Meaning that I would essentially have to DRS boost George Russell if I want to run Mercedes plus McLaren. Now, if I want to do maybe like a Ferrari. Oh, you can also not see. I'm just going to lower. There we go. Are there unlimited transfers for your team before the first race? Yes. Before the first race, you have unlimited transfers. Let's try like a Mercedes Ferrari with maybe you can get a Lewis Hamilton in there. I don't think this is a bad team, right? You have the cheapest C-tier assets, which isn't great, but you have 2 premium constructors. So I think points-wise, like this could be really good. This could actually be really good. You can't fit Charles Leclerc though, so you would have to stick with Hamilton. I don't hate this. It's probably not what I'm going to go for, even though I'm a Ferrari fan. But if you're a like full-blown Ferrari fan and you don't want to go for the C-tier constructors, I think this is probably what you go for, right? Let's see. Yeah, I think honestly this year, at least at the start for me, I might actually start with a C-tier constructor. I know it sounds crazy, but like I think this just looks good to start with. And I know Williams are hyped and probably overhyped, but if I had to pick a C tier constructor, it is probably Williams. Alright, let me know in chat, if you had to start with a C tier asset, which one? Like C tier constructor. If you had to pick one, would you start with Williams? Or would you go with Haas or Alpine? I don't think anyone's picking Kick or Racing Bulls or Aston Martin. But if you had to start with a C tier constructor, which one would you go for? Williams or Haas? Alpine, Williams, Haas is the best. I mean, Haas is cheap, right? Only 7 million seems like a bargain. Let's see what we can try and make when we say no to Williams, right? Get Lando Norris in there. And let's just pick let's just go full Haas team, no? How much money do I have? 12.8. Still comfort size in this. Crazy. This doesn't look bad, no? Especially, like, again, if budget building works like we think it does, it means that C tiers are never going to increase 1 million again. It looks like the new max is like 0.6. And the A tier assets, their max is 0.3 instead of 0.2. So it's actually not that big of a difference between the A and C tiers, or A and B tiers, I should say. Again, we don't know exactly how it works yet. But in that case, like, budget building as a strategy is kind of dead. Not entirely dead, because budget building is still important, like you still want to build your budget, but it's not like you could just ignore Lando Norris, and at the end of the day, points is what matters. Gasly. I think Gasly's so expensive though. He's so good in qualifying, and I don't know if I like that. 2 cheap constructors with fast pit stop times and 2 A drivers might work. And you're not wrong. You're honestly not wrong, Fraser. It sounds crazy, but you might be correct here. I think Williams is overhyped because of Sainz. They're overhyped because of their good performance in testing. Cadillac. Won't go with Williams because it's too expensive. It's the same as Aston Martin last year. I think so too. I think they could be a trap. Yeah, the thing with Fraser, the thing with like the 2 fast pit stop is, like, even if you get the 20 points for having a sub 2-second pit stop, that's not going to make up for the fact that you don't have drivers that are getting like 35 points for winning the race, right? So I still think sorry about that. I still think the A tier, the premium constructors, are worth it over the C tiers. What I'm wondering is, I'm going to discuss this more in a video I make, but last year, the entire season built up to us getting 2 premium drivers. And what I mean by that is that we started the season, we had 2 premium constructors, and I mean we had 2 premium constructors the entire year. But we started the year with 2 premium constructors, 1 premium driver, and then eventually after budget building, we could afford 2 premium drivers alongside our premium constructors, right? So we ran that 2-2 setup, and everyone had that. Then we ran Logan Sargent to, fit better drivers in there, and yada yada yada. I think this year it's going to be different. The thing we're budget building towards is being able to run just one premium driver, but getting that second premium constructor. I think that's what we're actually working towards. So I think at the start of the season, budget building is still important because you want to be able to afford that second premium constructor while still having good other drivers in your team at the same time. Piastri and Russell, 3 cheap drivers, Ferrari and Racing Bulls for pit stop points. Perhaps. I need someone to crunch the numbers on pit stop points. Pick drivers who qualify last? No. Yeah, in terms of qualifying last, I think Haas look good for that. And then Bortoleto. I think Bortoleto is a good, like, solid asset. I don't know how good science is going to be. Like, I just can't fit science in here because I have Haas. Obviously, if I go for something else in here, it's whatever. But yeah. I'm gonna save this team for now because this is probably the best I've cooked up so far. Infinite. Alright, let's look at the chips, actually. Do we know if anything has changed with the chips? I don't think so, no? What's new? How to play? Chips. Frequently asked questions. Where scores? No. Someone help me. Where are the information about the chips? How to play? Why is this so hard to find? There should just be a tab that says this is what the chips do. More. No? Where do I find the information about the chips? Like, actually. In picking team tab. Huh? Oh. Yeah, but I wanna see what, like, they actually do. This is just like, I wanna see if they've actually changed, if there's something new about it. But I don't think so. I don't think anything has changed. In FAQ picking a team in FAQ, okay. That's such a weird place to put it. Why is it picking a team? Okay. Autopilot, nothing has changed there. Extra DRS boost, nothing has changed there. No negative. And if any of your team members goes a negative, you will limit your losses. Okay, new for this year. It's not new for this year. It's new for last year. Just haven't changed it. Okay, so this just confirms they've not changed the chips at all, which is really good. So let's, again, I have no graphics because obviously setup. I'm in an Airbnb. I would have it if I was home. Chip strategy. What are we thinking? I do think there is merit to limitlessing in China. I think that's what a lot of people are thinking about, right? The reason for that is that you could build a budget building team. Now, budget building doesn't look to be as strong this year as it was last year and the previous year. So I don't know how effective it is. But obviously, you could go a full budget building team now at the start, limitless in China, and then wild card out of that bad team in Japan to start getting points and like get an early lead on budget building. I don't know how effective that is when like C-tier assets aren't growing by 1 million anymore. So I don't know how effective that is. I think in terms of limitless, it appears that sprint races work the same, where there's no points for sprint qualifying, meaning that you can look at sprint qualifying and then lock in your team before the sprint race, meaning that limitless is still going to be really powerful in sprint races because you can look and see what happens in sprint qualifying and know which assets to pick. The triple DRS boost is obviously still going to be best used in a sprint race, probably later on in the season when we have 2 premium drivers in our teams. So that's not changed at all. There's always talk with limitless specifically to use it in a single race weekend. I'll make a separate video about that later off. Um, Question. If Science qualifies P9 and he drops to P14 in the race, is that bad? Yeah, it's really bad. It's awful. It's absolutely terrible. It's completely useless. He gets like negative points for that. So with the chips, Limitless is really difficult to call because there's that entire math thing about it actually being mathematically better in a single race weekend. But I don't know how accurate that is, and especially that you can look at sprint qualifying results before picking your team in sprint race weekends really enhances the power of that chip. So I think there's merit to limitlessing as early as in China, and I think it will be a very popular strategy. But I would always wait to after the sprint qualifying to lock in if limitless is a good idea or not. 3x again has to be used in a sprint race. Everything else is just objectively incorrect. So, or sprint weekend, I should say. And then wildcard is very much like when your team is bad, you use it type deal. So, or you use it after a team comes with a big upgrade, you want to get all in on them super quickly, or like after the summer break, and or a driver has been axed or whatever. So wildcard is very individual. You can't really predict when you want to use it at the start of the season. Sorry again. Final fix, also super unpredictable. You basically can make a change after the deadline, and final fix is very much one of those. When Max Verstappen qualifies into P20, you final fix. So you don't know when that's going to happen. That could happen any race. So you just gotta always be agile and ready, and have a team that you can final fix with if you want to. Autopilot, by far the weakest chip of the bunch, is always best used later on in the season when you have better drivers that score more points. It's also good in rainy races so that your 2x driver doesn't DNF in a crash and you get absolutely screwed. So autopilot, good in rainy races. And then you have no negative, which is also really good in rainy races, but it's also really good in sprint races since it eliminates negative scores for each point category, meaning that if someone crashes in the sprint, that DNF is erased and you still get their points for the main race. So that's sort of the overall structure of the chips. I think early on in the season, Limitless is by far the most attractive chip to use. I think Limitless is stronger the earlier on you use it, because compared to those who don't use Limitless, their teams are going to be worse when their budget is lower. So I think Limitless is going to be very popular in China, but I'm going to make an entirely separate video about that probably after this weekend. I don't think I'll have time to make that video before this week, and also you can't even use Limitless in the first race weekend, so I think that's fine. All right, we've been live for like 50 minutes. If you haven't liked the stream yet, please do. If you haven't subscribed, please do. After this stream is done, I'm gonna sit down and actually start recording some proper videos that will go up on the channel throughout the night and throughout tomorrow. I have a super exciting collab coming tomorrow as well, so you definitely do not want to miss that. Please subscribe so you don't miss it. And again, just like the stream if you haven't. I think for now, my voice is starting to give out. I need to go take a shower. So, yeah, ice. So, exactly. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Is there any final question, final thing that you want to discuss before I dip out for the night? Any final questions before I dip? Thank you, Rob. Catch you tomorrow. We'll be waiting. Thank you so much, Rish.
Driver of the day, still thinking that's sad. Yeah, that's a whole discussion for another time. Great stream, mate. Can't wait for proper videos. I mean, the videos are not going to be super proper because it's going to be like impromptu recorded, like with this setup. But I'll do the best I can. They're not going to be super well edited, but that's okay. All right, I'll call it there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the channel tomorrow, and I mean all throughout the week. What a crazy couple of days it's going to be. It'll rain the first GP rights. I'll discuss that tomorrow. I hope so, considering I'm going to be there watching it. Cinema into turn 1. See you around, guys. I'll be back, though. I'll be back.